Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the School of Science. My name is Luke and this is the Blue Jibber. Now, in regards to Everton, we have three main topics to talk about today. A couple of outgoings, a couple of incomings, and a couple of statements from Everton players. So, I'm going to get serious now because I'm going forwards on my chair. So, a couple of outgoings. These are the usual, the usual people. So James Rodriguez has recently been noted in the Twitch community, as apparently he had put up a quote on Twitter. Well, actually no, let's start with the Twitch part first, that's the important thing. So on Twitch he made a statement that Everton are going to be playing this weekend against Leeds, but he's not going to be joining them. Now, I'm not sure how that works, just because I think his isolation would be over at that point. It could possibly be the day after, I'm not 100% sure, but he has not been present in training. So I'm going to make the assumption that in that regard, it's just been that he's still isolating. But in all honesty, if he goes, he goes. We can't really, dwell on it. And I mean, let's be honest, I feel like the way Rafa Benitez is pushing the Everton squad, I feel like James Rodriguez wouldn't be the central role anymore. He would be more the bit part. You see, Rafa Benitez, he likes to use the width of a pitch, whereas the likes of Carlo Ancelotti and anything like that, they like to bring in the star players and let them do the work. So, in terms of formation and tactics and everything, Ancelotti only has so much say in it, whereas Rafa absolutely dictates it. So, with all said and done, I think if James goes, it's going to be a blow just because, like all Everton fans, we have, 99% of the Everton fans who go to the stadium haven't had the chance to actually see him yet in playing action. Actually, no, make that 100%, just because when Everton were able to play in a capacity stadium, he was not present. He was flying over for the Copa America with Colombia when we were playing against Wolves. So, in that regard, we have not seen him, which is a terrible shame. In all honesty, it is a terrible shame. Now, on the other side of the coin, apparently, Moise Kean has been approached by Fiorentina. Now, this has been apparently an estimated price of around £31.5 million. And this is another player. If he goes, I don't see that as a huge loss. In fact, I see that as a huge plus, just for the fact that whenever he plays for us, he just doesn't seem to have the motivation or interest at mind for Everton. He almost seems like he wants to be going elsewhere. Now, I know where he's coming from. He wants to play Champions League football. But would you want to play Champions League football and already found a club? Or would you like to go into a club that's on the cusp of, European football and be one of those people responsible for pushing them towards the Champions League, have your name pretty much held up in the stars like Tim Cahill, Mikel Arteta and Duncan Ferguson, being held in regards to someone like that? Or would you rather be held in regards to the likes of Jack Rodwell, Andy van der Meijden and Ross Barkley? I mean, me personally, I'd rather be held in regards to Tim Cahill, Arteta and Fergie. But if you want to be held in them ones, go for it. Go and bloody play for Fiorentina. Be that guy. Because in all honesty, that's what happens to people who shine bright at Everton. 9 times out of 10, when they go to another team, it's not as always, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. I mean, Ross Barkley and Jack Rodwell are probably the best points for that one. When Jack Rodwell was sent over to Man City, he was basically out of his depth. He was put up against all these superstars and he just was not able to make any form of a dent. And now he's basically siphoning money from bloody... I'm not sure whether he's still doing it, but he had a contract with Sunderland when they were in financial strife, and he would not back out of the contract and say, okay, you guys don't need me. I will back out of this contract and the 90 grand a week I'm taking from you, and I will go somewhere else. No, he apparently stayed there and just kept taking the 90 grand a week, apparently. But all that said and done, I'm just getting completely off topic. So, we've had rumours of a few incomings. So, the main one that I've seen at the moment is Matthew Hopper, is it? He's an American striker who apparently we're looking at getting from... I'm not even sure where we're getting him from, in all honesty. I saw his name pop up a couple of times, and in all honesty, I've sort of skimmed through this one just because when I saw striker, my eyes sort of glazed over, in all fairness, because we've got about 4 or 5 half-decent strikers. I mean, we've got Richarlison, we've got Calvert-Lewin, we've got Lewis Dobbin, and Ellis Sims is still injured, but when he's back, I think he'll be a great little fit. So in order for us to require a striker, I feel like it's almost like a little bit of wasted money, in all fairness. It's a shame to see that we've got this focus, and in all honesty, I've got a feeling that more than likely is paper talk, just to sort of raise interest. Chances are this is a agent who's working for Hopper, who's just sort of put a little side swipe towards the media, just put a little piece of paper over to the table and said, yeah, I've heard Everton have been contacting me about this guy. So in order to just build up hype and get other teams sort of sniffing around and thinking, oh, if Everton want him, he might be a good striker. Also, another one was Kurt Zouma. Apparently, we have joined the race alongside Tottenham Hotspur and West Ham United for Kurt Zouma. In all honesty, I think this is another set of paper talk just to try and raise the price and raise the hype. In all fairness, I really did like Zouma when he played for us. Granted, I've never seen him, in person at the ground, but any time I watched him, it was always a good game with him. He was a solid centre-back, and he was always a really good piece of height when it came to any corner kicks. 9 times out of 10, he was one of the people who was getting his head on the ball, so having the likes of him and Mina in a partnership at the very top of the field, that'd be great to see. But again, this is what I feel like this is another little bit of paper talk just to entice things, or this is an agent who's, again, pushed a little bit of paper across the table to another tabloid to say, hey, apparently Everton have gone in there as well. But yeah, I digress with the transfers. In all fairness, at the moment, I'm only paying half attention to what's going on the transfer window, just because I feel Everton have sort of reached a limit, and until we actually sell either Moise Kean, James Rodriguez, or Alex Iwobi, I don't feel like we're going to be getting anyone. So in that regard, I feel like we just shouldn't really worry about the transfer market for the time being and just focus on the season ahead. Yes, we need another right back, but in all honesty, until we sell one of our bloody bits of deadweight, we can't get another right back, which is such a bloody shame. But anyway, I digress. Now, time to get to the third piece, and the piece that actually tickled me the most. So, Everton have released a video recently, and it was just talking about the most skillful player in the squad. So they asked a lot of the first team players and said, who do you think is the most skillful in the squad? And a resounding, probably about 80-90% of them said Alex Iwobi. Now, at first, I've looked into this a little bit, and at first I was a little bit skeptical, thinking, okay, this can't be right. They can't be thinking Alex Iwobi. This can't be the same Alex Iwobi we've seen knock a ball 10 yards forwards when he's trying to dribble. This isn't the same Alex Iwobi who can't seem to turn left in field in a game. But I've looked at the footage, and in all honesty, I think in terms of his ability, he was apparently, he got his little claim to fame and his little startup with Arsenal when he was doing futsal as a kid. Apparently, as a kid, he was extremely skillful when it came to doing futsal and everything, where it was like, your essential five-a-side street football stuff, where skill is like a main aspect of the game. Being able to cut inside, you're able to fake, dummy, and duck, weave, and dive through an opposition. Now, and I've seen training videos and everything of him where he's doing his little freestyle football and everything, and that's all well and good, but you need to put that into a match aspect. I'll be honest, just like most people who are probably watching this video right now, I've played football. I've played football in New Zealand in the 3rd tier, and in all fairness, I've seen players similar to Alex Iwobi in this regard. They're very skillful when it comes to training or free time sort of football where you're just messing around. And I've watched them do the ducking, weaving and diving. But when it comes to an actual match situation where they're taking on someone who's got a little bit of know-how on how a player moves and can dummy, and he's seen you play probably like another 5-10 minutes where you've been trying to do this sort of stuff, they can read that like an absolute open book. And I feel like Alex Iwobi's confidence and everything like that is just not 100% there when it comes to an actual match game situation, because he knows that a player, if they read him when he does some of these little tricks, he looks like a complete and utter fool. So he ends up becoming a bit of a deer in the headlights, and he ends up making silly errors where he's knocking the ball too far forward. He can't seem to cut inside, and trying to turn a player is nigh impossible. Because if you look in the Southampton game, the goal that he set up for Abdoulaye Toure, he was essentially unmarked. He basically managed to get in, got a head onto it, and it came down to Iwobi. Came down to Doucouré. But from there on in, yes, he had a good game, but he was keeping it extremely simple and doing basic football. I've watched the game a couple of times over now, and I don't see him really doing an awful lot. And I'll be honest, at that point, from the point of Doucouré scoring, we were 2-1 up, and the pressure was off him. He was essentially just there to bring the ball up and down the field alongside Seamus Coleman. But in any case, if he's able to regain some confidence, get himself into some sort of form, and he's able to utilise these skills in the match situation, I would be more than happy to see him stay and try and be a little bit more of a mainstay right winger or attacking midfielder. But at this point in time, I just can't see him being with Everton for much longer. I'm hoping the Atalanta deal actually comes through and we're able to sell him off, even if it's only for 5 or 6 million. I feel like we need to get him off the books just because we're paying way too much in terms of wages, and he's just a bench warmer. He's just taking up a slot that someone in the under 23s or someone in the back lines could be filling in, and they could be doing the same sort of job, if not a little bit better, because they'll be more hungry and they'll be more tenacious when it comes to playing football. Look at Anthony Gordon, for argument's sake. When he first came on for Everton, his little debut, the guy was an absolute animal on the field. He was putting 120% in for as long as he could. He was up that field, down the field, up the field, down the field. He was doing everything he could. He was into challenges. He was doing absolutely everything. And in all honesty, I do not see Alex Iwobi doing that sort of stuff. And I've looked at him. He's played for a while, from what I can gather. I think he's only 24 or 25, but he seems to have the pace and stamina of a 35, 36-year-old. I've seen him run up, do a burst up the field, come back, and he's sort of slowly jogging back, and when the ball's not in his area, he's doing this, going, trying to catch his breath. He's meant to be an athlete at the peak of physical condition, and he looks out of breath already. So I do apologise. This is just becoming a complete nutter Alex Iwobi rant, so I am terribly sorry for that. But in any case, as said, Alex Iwobi, in my personal opinion, he's not the most talented. I would probably be more inclined to say someone along the lines of James Rodriguez. Yes, granted, he's past his peak, but he's still got a lot of skill. I've seen him put beautiful crosses onto an absolute dime to the likes of Luca Dean or anyone on the left side of that pitch, or even to Richarlison. He's able to pick out a pass from absolutely nothing. If you want evidence of this, just watch the most recent Merseyside derby where he put a through ball to Richarlison, and it was literally something out of nothing. That is well and true skill. Apparently Damari Gray is a very skillful player as well. I haven't seen very much in terms of training footage with Everton, but I'm going to hold them to that. I can see it in him. He's a very slight sort of player. So when he has the ball, I can see that there's a few gears in his head where he's looking to try and find a new angle of play while he's still moving. So I'm willing to hold on to that and see if he pulls off any little bits of magic. But in any case, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. If you are new to the channel and you don't know the rigmarole already, look down below. There's a like button. Press that like button if you liked what you've seen. Also, there's a comment section down below. If you want to suggest anything to me, whether it be a rumour, transfer rumour, a speculation, or you just want to say something nice, put it down in the comment section below. Also, as I said, if you are new to the channel, there's a little red button down there. If it's greyed out, then don't worry about it. But if it's red, hit that subscribe button. That just means that you want to see more of this stuff and you're willing to stick around. Also, I've been told that apparently a couple of my videos haven't really been feeding through to you guys, so there's also a little bell icon just next to it. If you click that button, you can have it set up so that any videos that come live, you're going to be notified for them. And just bear in mind, I do these on a semi-infrequent basis, so usually you'll see around 2 to 3 days between each video. That's the normal standard point at this point in time. But as time progresses and as the season goes on, chances are they're going to be they're going to be solid like every 2 days. Plus, you're going to see the occasional Bramley Moore video every 2 to 3 weeks. So in that case, if you like the Bramley Moore videos, get ready, because there's going to be another one coming in the next couple of weeks. Also, I would like to thank, as usual, CT Baz for being one of our amazing patrons. If you want to be like CT Baz and you want to get yourself in the little sidebar here off to my left, be your right, go into the link below. You will see that there is a Patreon there. We have got 2 patrons. There is the cup of coffee patron, which is essentially just you saying, look, I don't want any special treatment. I just want to say thank you for what you're doing. Here's £1 on me. Get yourself a cup of coffee. And there's also the £3 a month patron. So this is essentially what I call the School of Science Superfan. So if you are a School of Science Superfan, try and say that 5 times fast, seriously. No, seriously, try and say that 5 times fast. It is tough. If you're one of these people, you will get your name in the sidebar here, and you will have access to a fair bit of exclusive stuff. So anything in regards to the new office that's coming in the very near future, that's all based down there. Anything that I've sort of thought about and want people's opinions, that comes into there as well. We get a lot of stuff going, and as the channel grows, there's going to be more and more features coming in for the School of Science Superfan, and there will be future patrons in it down the line. So we're going to have more stuff coming, and there's going to be stuff like merchandise, exclusive interviews, stuff like that that's going to be coming in the future. I'm working on a lot of stuff right now, and I really can't wait for you guys to start seeing things develop. But in any case, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching, and I'm going to see you all in the next video. Peace.